Okay, so now let's start by working on our player details page. But before that, we have forgot to correct the collection name of our player request. There is a spelling mistake here. Let's correct it. Remove the T and save it. Now let's remove it in the database also. Let's remove the player request and say player requests. TS wrong spelling, and create a new player request just to see if it is working or not. So let's refresh our page and click on apply. Let's enter a message. Please please let me in Rangers team. So if I now click on apply, we should see a successful message. Okay, then we need to close this and look at our database. Let's refresh our database. We should see a player request collection. Okay, we are seeing player request collection and everything is good. We have team ID, ATD, BCC 6A, player ID and message. So now let's close all of this, close this also, and we might need to copy some code from here because the team details page and player details page will look similar to each other. So let's go to our app folder and create a new folder here called player details, and it will also be a dynamic route. So let's say here player ID inside square brackets, and let's create a new file here called page.tsx. So let me just quickly create it for you. But before that, let's just commit the changes of our renaming the player request collection. So let's get status here, and we have modified lib mongodb user.ts. So git add lib, say it like lib mongodb user.ts, and git commit dash m, that is update player request collection name, or let's just say correct instead of update. So correct player request collection name in, let's just say this only. So let's git push also, git push origin main, and let's look at our GitHub repository. Let's refresh it and correct player request collection name. Let's see the changes here, and we should see a file. Okay, so the push is successful. So now let's create a new branch. So git branch and call this branch add player details feature, player details page feature, because it is a feature branch. Let's switch to it. So git switch add player details page feature. Generally it is good to work on a separate branch to keep the main branch error free. So let's git status here. We have a one file created. Okay, that's totally fine. So let me just quickly create the UI for our player details page for you. Okay, so I have created our structure and UI of our player details page. So here it is how it is looking. It is similar to team details page, and currently it doesn't have any data here because we need to fetch the gaming profile of our user, and we need to create this function. So that's why I have not added it. I have commented it here. So here is the code. Slowly you can see it, and let's just start working on fetching the gaming profile of user. So let's remove this, and we need to create a new function here called get user, or let's just say play, let's just say user, get user gaming profile by user id, and here we need to pass our user id here, player or we can simply pass the player id here. Do we need player here? Player dot name. Okay, we need the player for our player dot name that we don't have in our gaming profile. Okay, that's totally fine. Let's remove the space from here, and let's just create the function in our lib mongodb user.ts file. So let's copy the function name here. Let's just copy it, and we need to pass it like this: object id dot create from hash string, and pass the player id in. So let's just save it and create a new function here. Export async function and paste the copied function name. Then we need a player id here of type object id, and we need to return a gaming profile. So user gaming profile type, and let's just get the client here, MongoDB client. Await get MongoDB client, and paste, copy and paste the try catch block. So let's copy and paste. Let's just remove this and say const gaming. Let's just call it profile equals await get, need to say tv dot collection of type user gaming profile type, and gaming profiles collection. Then we need to find one where user id is player id. Okay, now we need to return the profile here, the exclamation mark, and everything is good. Let's update the error messages also. So failed to get user gaming profile from database, profile by player id from database. Let's just copy it and paste it below. So everything is good. Let's import the function here. Okay, let's uncomment some of these. So let's uncomment this and this also, this also, then this also, this also, here also, and this also. Remove this also, and if I now save it, we should see the, okay, we are seeing the data in our page. First we have the Dhruv Singh that is fetched from the player get user by id. Then we have the gaming profile data, that is game Apex Legend, platform PlayStation, rank gold, bio cool, description and experience here. Now let's work on adding the teams that user have created or is a part of. So here we need to create a player teams grid. So let's just say player teams grid, and it will receive teams array, and that we need to pass from player dot teams, and that's only what it needs. So let's create it in the components folder, and here we need to get a new folder called player details, and inside it we need to get a new file called player teams grid dot tsx and player team item dot tsx. So let's start by getting player team item. So export async, export default async function called player team item. So it will return a div here that will say this is a player item. This is a player team item actually. And let's add the semicolon here. Let's just create player teams grid here. So export default async function player teams grid, and it will receive a teams array. So teams of type that we need to create. So let's go to types, user, and we need to extract it. Let's extract it and create a new type here. Export type, let's call it player teams type, and paste the content here. So let's just say players teams type array, and if you look at our team dot here, team member type and player teams type. Let's just say player team type because we want to be consistent. So let's close this also, and here we need to say player team type array. So let's just create it, return a div. Let me just copy and paste it from the team details page and team members grid. So let's copy all of this and close this. Then we need to paste it here and change a few things. So here we will say teams dot length and teams, and here team. Then we need to import our player team item, and key will be team dot user id, not user id but team id dot toString. Then we need to pass the team as spread operator, and here we need to say no team members found, no player teams found. Simple. So if I save it and import it here, so player teams grid, and we need the exclamation mark here. Okay, if I now save it, we should see a message here. This is a player team item. Okay, so currently we have a team created in our account, that is why it is showing here. So now let's work on refining our player team item here. So let's copy it from the team member item. So let's just copy it and paste it here and change a few things. Here we need a name and role that is fetched from team actually. So team dot name and role name. So we need to get the actual team here, and we need the team ID here instead of user ID. So team ID here, and it will be of type player team type instead of team member types. So let's remove this also, and then we need to change this from get user by id to get team by id. And here also we need to change, say player teams. What is the type here? I have forgot it. Let's open the user.ts type. So user.ts here, and what is the type? It is user teams role type. So actually it's not player but user teams role type, and we need to convert it, and it is giving me some error. Argument of type object id is not assignable to type of. Okay, we need to convert it to string. So let's just say to string, and everything is good. Let's remove these here. If I now save it, nothing is changed because we need to save our. Okay, I have mistakenly edited the team member item file that we don't want. So let's undo the changes here. What I have done, oh my god. Actually it's get, we need to change everything. Okay, it's now done. If I save it and visit the find teams page and click on apply here, everything should be good. Okay, cannot read properties of undefined toString. And we need to go back more Okay, it's actually user ID and user here also. Okay, now it is should be good. So if I refresh and save, okay, it's now visible and everything is working fine. We need to actually apply the changes in our player team item instead of team member item. So let's just copy these and paste it here. Then we need to fetch and let's just say player team type, and here we need the team ID and role. So let's just format it correctly, and here we need a function to get team by ID, and we need to pass the team ID here. So team ID is object ID. Let's convert it to string here. So to string, and everything is good. Let's rename this from user to team, and we need to change the type here, user teams role type. And if I now save it and go to the player details page, we should see that okay, we are seeing the team's name, rangers, role, captain. Okay, so we have successfully created our player teams grid and player team item. Next, we need to work on the player recruit form. Just like the team apply form, we need a player recruit form here in our player details page. So let's do that. So let's first close all of these because we don't need these files. And let's just save, and let's just close this also and this also. So here we need to create a new folder inside player details components folder and call it player recruit box, and every spelling is correct or not, player recruit box. And inside it we need to create a new form, that is player recruit form.tsx. So let me just quickly create it for you. Okay, so I have created our player recruit form here, and this is how it is looking. So we have an interface here that defines the props inside player recruit form, and we have teams that we need to normalize or sanitize from team type. We will talk about it later. Then we have a player ID and user ID. Then we have initial state here, initial action state and use action state hook, which we need to have to submit our form data to recruit player action. Then we have show confirm recruit box and handle show confirm apply box to handle the show confirm recruit box. And then here is the code of our player recruit form. What's different in this from team details apply box is that it have a select team tag here, which a user can select to recruit the player in team. And then here is the error messages and success message div. Then we have a cancel button, recruit button, confirm recruit button, and here is the recruit button that is shown in the player details page. So next thing we need to do is create a function here that just fetches the user created teams by player ID. So let's create that here. Okay, so before creating our get all user teams by user ID function, we need to actually commit the changes here to better organize our code. So let's git add, that is lib mongodb, that is user.ts file, and in that file user.ts file we have added a new function get user gaming profile by user ID. So let's commit it, git commit dash m, and let's just say add get user gaming profile by user ID, I think it is by user ID function in lib mongodb user.ts file. Okay, so it has been committed. Let's git status one more time. Then we need to commit the modifications in types.user.ts file. So git add types user.ts and just commit git commit dash m. Then we need to update. And what actually we have changed, so it is we have added a new player team type. Okay, so let's just say update the user type to add what is the name, player team type, player team type type in user type. Okay, this is a fine commit message. Let's just git status one more time. Then we need to commit these changes also. So git add dot git commit dash m, and let's just say create UI for layer details page. Okay, so four files have been added, that is page.txt, player recruit box, and inside it player recruit form.txt, player team item.tsx, and player teams grid. So git status one more time, and nothing to commit. So now we can safely create our get all user teams by user id function. So let's go to the lib here, lib MongoDB, and let's go to team.ts file and copy the function name here and create a new function here. So it will be called export async function and paste the name here. Then we have a user id here or player id. Let's call it player id, and this is of type object id. Then we need to just copy and paste the code here. Okay, now we need to change few things here. So let's just remove this, and we need to set const teams equals await get MongoDB, not get MongoDB, because db dot collection of type, that is user type maybe. Actually, we don't need to access the users collection. We can just directly access the teams collection here. So it will be of type team type, and here we need to fetch the teams dot find where the captain id is equals to the user id or player id. Let's call it user id instead of player id to better organize our code. So user id. Okay, then we need to call dot to array, and we can simply return the promise of type team type and array. So let's return it here. So return teams with exclamation mark and update the error messages. Fail to get all user teams by user id from database. Let's copy it and paste it here also. So if I save and import the function here, let's just import it here. Okay, everything is good. Then we need to pass this teams array in our player recruit form. So let's import it here. So player recruit form, and here we need to pass the teams. First of all, we need the player ID. So let's first pass teams here. So teams, and then we have a player ID. So player ID here. Then we need a user ID. Then user ID, and type of id is not, we need to convert user id dot to string here. Okay, then player id is of type string that we are fetching from the params. Okay, everything is good. So now if I save here and visit the player details page, hopefully everything is fine. Okay, we have some errors. Okay, we need to convert from object ID to string in our PlayUnion form. That's why we have here sanitized team type that we need to create. So let's visit to player details page, and if we click on recruit button we should see the user created teams here. Okay, we are seeing rangers and it is successful. Let's click on cancel, and now let's work on to normalize or sanitize the team type array. So let's do that. So let's open the team.ts types file here, and we need to copy this and paste it below here with change name. It will be called sanitized team type. Okay, sanitized team type, and instead of object IDs it will have string. So here also, and everything is good. Inside team member type we should also have, okay, we need to create a sanitized version of this also. So copy and sanitized team member type, we need to call it sanitized. Okay, now everything is good. Let's import it from types team.ts. Then we need to create a new function to normalize or sanitize team type inside our lib folder here. So inside lib, let's create a new file called team.ts, and here we need to create a new function that we need to export. So export default function and call it sanitize team type, and it will receive a team type here. So let's call it team of team type, and it will return a sanitized team type. So let's just return here an object with squared operator team. Then we need the which fields, we need the captain ID to be converted to string. So team dot captain ID dot to string. Then we also need the ID here. So let's convert ID also. So ID with question mark and ID with question mark. Actually team dot ID dot question mark dot to string. And we are seeing an error. Object later may only specify non-properties. ID does not exist in sanitized team type. Do we have ID here? We have an ID here. Actually it's not ID, it's underscore ID. That's why it's giving error. And now everything is good. Now let's check for more IDs. Okay, let's convert the members here. Actually we need to map it. So team dot members dot map, and then we have a member here. Okay, we need to say here that just spread the member array. Okay, so we need a parenthesis here, then a object that will have a spread operator as member, then user ID, and we need to convert it. So member dot user ID dot to string, and that should be fine. We are still having an error here. An object member cannot be declared optional. Okay, let's remove the question mark and question mark from here also. Type user ID string role is undefined, is not assignable type sanitize team member type. And so we need to check our team dot types, and it's actually string, not object ID. So string, and everything should be good now. Okay, everything is good. And also we need a teams here, not a team. We need to convert the array of teams. So let's just cut it from here, and we need to map here teams dot map, and here we will say team and this, and we need to paste the code here, or actually curly brackets here, and we need to paste it here, and we are seeing an error, and we need to actually return an array here. Okay, the error is gone now and everything is good. Let's import this function here. So where we say the player recruit form, let's go to there and call the function here to sanitize. So where is the function to sanitize team type? Actually it's not default and we need to say sanitize teams. So let's delete the type here. Now save it and import it here. So here it is sanitize teams, then pass the teams here and everything should be fine. Let's save it and save here also. If we now go to find players, then go to recruit to sing and we should see no errors. Okay, we are seeing no errors and we click on recruit, we should see the teams here. Okay, everything is good now and it is still saying some error. Okay, we need to create the action here also. So before that, let's just commit our changes here. So if I run git status, then we have modified some files here, page.tsx, player recruit box, recruit form, lib mongodb team.ts and types team.ts. So let's git add all of them and commit here with message link layer recruit form with layer detail page and update and let's just say add sanitize team type to team dot ts to team type, actually just say team type and add sanitize teams function in lib team team.ts file. That is a fine commit message and it is pretty long, but that's okay. Let's git status here and nothing to commit. So let's start working on creating our action now. So let's close all of this here and go to team.ts action. So team.ts, let's copy the action name here. So copy and create a new function here. Export async function, paste the name function name here and import this state as action state, form data as form data and it will return a promise of type action state. So let me just quickly create the action for you to save your time. Okay, so I have created our recruit player action structure here. So here we have the variables that we need for team invite, that is team ID, player ID and invited by. Then we have a errors array here that is initialized to empty array. Then we have the validations here that say if team ID is not found, so we need to select a team, then a player ID to whom we are inviting to team, and here is the invited by, which is the user which is inviting the player to recruit into the team. So let's now create the new object here called new team invite and it will be of type team invites type. So let's create it here. So it will have invited by player ID, status and team ID. So let's start with team ID here and we need to maybe convert it. Because it is string, okay, it is string, we need to convert it to object ID by create from hash string and passing in the team ID here. And we need to do the same for player ID. Set ID dot create from hash string, passing the player ID. Then we need the invited by ID. So object ID dot create from hash string and invited by ID. Then we need a status here which is of type, let's see, team invite status nm. So team invite status nm dot, let's just say pending here and everything is good. Now we need to actually create a function to invite a player into team. So let's call it const invite result and create a new function here called invite player to team. So let's create it in the lib MongoDB folder. So where we need to go lib MongoDB then team.ts, and we need to create a new function here. Let's copy this and paste it below and say invite player to team, and we need to pass a new team invite type object here. So new team invite, and it is of type team invites type, and then we need to return a boolean here. Boolean, let's delete this and let's just hit font result equals await db.collection of type team invites type, and let's call it team invites only, and we need to insert one, and that is let's pass that new team invite object here. Then we need to simply return the acknowledgement, so result.acknowledgement, and update the error messages also. So failed to invite player to team in database. Let's just copy it and paste it below. Failed to invite player to team in database. Let's just save this and import the function here. So invite player to team, and we need to pass the new team invite object here. Okay, now we need to check if invite result is false. Then we need to push an error here. So errors.push and say fail to invite the player to team, and if else invite result is true, then we need to return a success message. So success as true, and errors as errors, and message as successfully invited the player to selected team. Okay, now everything is good. Let's import this action here in our play recruit form, and we should see no errors. So let's uncomment the state.errors and state.message divs here. Okay, so now let's recheck our play recruit form here. So we have an interface of props here, teams of type, sanitize team type, then a player id, then user id, then we have initial state and use action state. Here we need to pass the form action. Okay, we are passing, and we are using custom action here to append ids, and then there is a toggle here to show confirm recruit box, and then we have this code here. So let's refresh our player details page and try to recruit this player into our rangers team. And currently we have a bug in our code here, because currently it is showing teams that a user we are is a part of. So we need to fix it. So let's do that, because currently we are logged in with the Shubham Singh account, and we want to recruit the Dhruv Singh here. So the Shubham Singh user have a teams called void here. Let's check it. Okay, we have a team name void here, and but we are seeing the rangers there in our select team to recruit form. So let's look at it again. So we are passing in the player ID, but we need to pass the user ID here actually, and it is of type object ID, and we are passing the object ID. If I now save it, the error should be gone now, and we should see the correct teams here. So if I look at, okay, we are seeing the void. Let's refresh our page one more time and to see if it actually, okay, we are seeing the correct teams. So if I now select nothing and click on recruit button, we should see the error message here printed. So recruit, please select a team. Now if I select the team to recruit into the player, we should see a successful message and a team invite created in the database. So let's click it. Okay, successfully invited the player to the selected team. Okay, let's check the database here. So if I refresh, we should see a new collection here, that is team invites. Okay, we are seeing team invites here and invited by BCC6A, that is Shubham Singh account. Player ID is C772, that is Dhruv Singh, and team ID is B175E. B175E, let's check it and confirm it. B175E and B175. Okay, that's correct. And here is the ID of the team invites. So we are successful in creating the team invite. And now let's just celebrate because we are successful in creating our team details page and player details page here. So let's commit the changes here. So let me open my git bash and then git status. Then we have modified team.ts file, page.txt file, and player form team.ts MongoDB file. So let us git add all of them and git commit dash m. Then we need to say add database to page details page and create new team invite in database. Let's just say that only and then git status one more time. Nothing to commit. Let's switch the branch to main. So git switch main and git status here. Nothing to commit. Let's merge the changes here. So git merge add player details page feature, and it is a fast forward merge with a lot of changes here. Let's git status one more time. Nothing to commit, and let's just test our code one more time to see if it is working or not or broken. So go to localhost here, click on find players, then recruit here, and we are seeing Dhruv Singh. Let's test it with empty team select here. So if I now click on recruit, we should see an error message. Okay, we are seeing an error message and everything is fine. So let's delete the branch now. So get branch -d and add player details page feature, and it is successfully deleted. Let's git status and git branch to confirm it, and let's just push the code to origin main to GitHub. So git push origin main. Let's cross our fingers and okay, it's pushed. Now let's confirm it. Let's go to our repository and refresh. We should see 49 commits. Okay, we have 49 commits here, and latest commit messages add database to page details page and create new team invite in database. Let's look at the commits here. We have these commits from the new branch that we have created. Add get user gaming profile by user id function, then update user type to add player team type in user type, then create UI for player details page, then link recruit form, etc. Then the latest commit is add database to page details page and create new team invite in database. So everything is good. Now next we need to work on our dashboard here. Here we can see our team invites and manage profile and etc. So let's do that also. First of all, let's strike through these also because we have completed our tasks here. Next we need to create a dashboard for our project here. So let's do that.